Any way to fully fact check what the president is alleging here about Amazon?
Oh, absolutely. And as always with a Trump statement, there's certainly an element of truth that then gets sort of blown a little out of proportion. Now, what's interesting about Bezos is he is very close to becoming the richest man in the world. That's going to make him a target, not just for Trump, but for lots of other people looking at what he's doing with his wealth and what Amazon is doing as a company. Remember, Bill Gates, as soon as he became the richest man back in 1995, that's when Microsoft started to face a lot of its antitrust problems. So this is going to be an overhang for Bezos and Amazon. And Trump is right. Amazon has been very aggressive on tax policy. Right now, between 2007 and last year, Amazon's total cash tax rate, that's all the taxes they pay, local, state, federal, were about 13%. Now, the average for the S&P 500 over that same period was more than twice that. And the way Amazon has done that is through a special arrangement in Europe where a lot of their profits flowed through Luxembourg. That now has been unwound a bit, so they're not really getting the same benefits that they did in the mid-2000s. And also, as David Faber pointed out earlier, a lot of their early success was because they did not pay state sales taxes in a lot of states. That now has changed where a majority of states, and certainly the vast majority of Amazon sales, go through states where they do pay sales taxes. So, yes, they've had a low tax rate for years. Bezos is famously aggressive when it comes to tax policy and paying taxes, but they're paying more now, and I think we're going to see this year, next year, maybe even deliberately on Amazon's part, that they're going to pay a higher tax rate just to show that it's not an unfair advantage. But the big theme here is Amazon getting too powerful? And I think the tax angle is one that Trump is going to hit, and as they get closer with this Whole Foods deal, regulatory approval is going to be an issue.
Yeah. You know, Robert, I'm glad you brought up the corporate tax rate they pay, where they've been very aggressive, and of course then the state sales tax, which now they are paying when Amazon is the seller of the goods. I think it's also important to mention, though, third parties use the Amazon platform, and it's my understanding that when a third-party seller, you're buying from a third-party seller, you are often not paying the sales tax in a state because that third-party seller does not have a presence there. So there is still an advantage to Amazon that is gained through third-party sellers who are able to not charge, even though they should be, charge sales tax to buyers in particular states. I know it gets a little complicated.
Well, and, from their SEC filing recently, Robert, we support a federal law that would allow states to require sales tax collections by remote sellers under a nationwide system.
Right. And you know, Trump specifically said that Amazon gets tax breaks with sales taxes that department stores don't, and so Amazon is therefore putting them out of business. And I think as we start to understand how Amazon works and these third-party sellers, I think states will start to close these loopholes. But sure, relative to the average retailer, brick-and-mortar retailer in your average town, Amazon pays a lower rate in a lot of these places. And I think, you know, with Bezos and the Washington Post, another thing worth pointing out that Eamon mentioned, but it's really worth highlighting, the Washington Post is not owned by Amazon. It's owned by Jeff Bezos, and it does make a profit, so it doesn't even help him lower his tax rate.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.